When I was 18, I got into a relationship with a man. Abuse ended up occurring, and it was just, a little bit of emotional and verbal, and then it became physical. I would write notes, if I'm dead, he killed me, and I'd put them in the Bibles, and I'd put them in books around the house. Sometimes I would just leave and go sit in the church parking lot and just cry out to God. And I'm like, where are you? When are you going to rescue me? Like, these kids are being damaged every day by the things that they see. Stand and see the salvation of the Lord on your behalf. It ended up being that one of my children was hurt, and my ex is now serving a 30-year sentence. We moved back to Iowa, where I was born and raised. I felt like I'm free, but I still felt like a sense of bondage. The house was just so peaceful, and I took several classes there. One of them was called The Ultimate Journey.
I started the class because of my childhood, wanting to work through some things. My mom got ill, and a friend of mine suggested, I really think this would be really beneficial for you right now.
The Ultimate Journey was the class that really changed my life. It gave me the knowledge and equipped me with the tools to fight the thoughts that were keeping me enslaved and in bondage.
One of the things that the House of Hope did for me, it freed me up from a lot of the guilt and shame that I carried as a child. The Ultimate Journey gave me the freedom to go back and embrace that little girl.
Ultimate Journey, that was a life changer. When I first came to House of Hope, our marriage was basically done with. We went to like 3 or 4 different counselors, together and separately. All of a sudden, God said, you could go to House of Hope.
When I walked in, I was nervous. My mom had said, well, there's a class on boundaries, maybe you should take it.
Boundaries was a great class. Who knew you needed boundaries? Everybody needs boundaries, and it's just a great class. There's a lot of marriages out there where you think are such good marriages, but sometimes you're just trying to make everybody think it's a perfect marriage. And if you're hurting and if you want help, don't be afraid, don't be ashamed. Just come to the house and talk to somebody.
Josh and I got married really pretty quickly, I would think.
For me personally, I was young. I wasn't very mature.
We really didn't know each other at all. And I would say year 1, the problem started.
So we had babies, and we relocated twice. We went to Florida, we went to Seattle.
Post-pregnancy hormones from having Liam, and then the new hormones from being pregnant again with Jude, it kind of created a storm inside of me.
We basically just realized marriage is hard, and maybe we weren't ready for it, but doggone it, we are gonna grind it out.
One day Josh says, we've got to start counseling with Bev Pospisil. And so we came to the house. And our first session with Bev was really hard, but it was awesome. I knew that I was gonna have an opportunity to start telling Josh what I needed to tell him, but then I found out that for a really long time, there's a lot of things that Josh needed to say also.
I learned a lot about Courtney. I learned a lot about myself, my strengths and weaknesses, where I failed, and how I can redeem myself.
For the first time in this office, my husband and I told each other the truth, and we had been married for 10 years.
It's been a few years. We've been going to see Bev, I think, and we won't stop, even when things are great. It's just so good to have a tune-up.
When I went to the House of Hope, I learned who I was in Christ. My story didn't end with physical freedom for me and the children and a 30-year sentence for my ex. The positive impact that the House of Hope has on this community, it's going to trickle down into generations ahead. Every single dollar that would ever go into the House of Hope, I know will be used to literally change lives and save lives. He wants us all to be free. You know, Jesus came so that we could live life and live life abundantly. Even if you're nervous, just walk through the front door, take a leap of faith. You will not regret it.